if you look right here on your top right of this video, at any time you can either go to the website or keep on watching, and as you go through the video, at the very end there'll be a link that takes you to the website, or during the time it'll be a link. So if you feel like you've got enough information, you can go ahead and click right here and it will be a drop down. It'll show you the parts and what you're looking for. Click on that, and sometimes it'll take you to the exact part we're talking about, or it'll take you to the category of parts that we're talking about, or it'll just take you to the website and you can put in the search box what part you're looking for. We thank you for watching. Alright, this is the Spa Guy, and what we're going to talk about today is Aqua Flo wet ends, which this is the real thing. This is a clone. This is a clone. They all look very, very similar. So keep on watching. I'll help you figure out which one is which. Alright, so what we're going to look at today is Aqua Flo wet ends. This is the real thing. This is a CMP clone of it. This is a Chinese, what we call a LX series pump clone. They all look, to the average person, if they just glanced at these, they would think that they were all exactly the same thing. They are very much different. None of the parts will interchange between these. This one, even the shaft on the motor is different. So if this is the impeller that screws on the shaft of the pump, and I'll show you a picture of the difference between the two shafts. You can put this on the same motor, it will work. It's got a 2-inch suction, about 2-inch pressure, 2-inch suction, 2-inch pressure. From that aspect, they're all the same. This particular one is a 56. This one is a 48. This one is a 48 or a 56. And the way you can tell is when you're measuring them, I'm going to measure across them. When you're measuring a 56, a real 56, what I would call an American Standard 56, is going to measure about 5 7/8 inches from the center of the screw to the center of the screw, and they're larger bolts. They're 5/16 heads. The next one, the 48s, are going to measure about 5 an 8, a hair more than an 8, like 5 3/16 between those two, and those are 1/4-inch heads. This one is going to measure the 5 3/16. This is going to measure the 5 1/8. So they kept them standard from an aspect of the 56 frame sizes. What they didn't do is keep them standard from the aspect of the shaft as far as this Chinese knockoff. You can also see that the Chinese knockoff has this little thing here. These two look very, very similar. On the CMP version, which is this one, you notice that it has the two bleeders and a hole that's not knocked out. This one has 3 bleeders on it. And on the Aqua Flo, there's actually even a number on the bleeder screw. It says 922-90070. So that's one thing, that another way you could tell if it's authentic. The other thing that you can do is the screws in all 3 of these are different. You can see that this is a real wide head Phillips. This is a real short and flat Phillips. And then this is a skinny and tall Phillips. So I'll do a screw comparison for you too. The biggest thing that I'm wanting you to do is, if you need an impeller for this one, the impeller for this one is not going to work. The impeller for this one's not going to work. So you've got to differentiate between these 3 to know how to get parts. The other thing that you have is, and we'll open these up at some point, and we'll talk about that. The other thing that you have is, usually on the impeller, on the Aqua Flo, it will have a number on the impeller. The other thing it uses is, the Aqua Flo uses a PS 200 seal, which is a standard seal that we keep. This seal will not work on this pump, and this seal will not work on this pump. The other thing that you have is, if you compare these two, this is the CMP version, and it does have a number stamped in it. The number is on the back. It's got a 27203-000-300, which makes it a 3 horsepower. You see they are very, very similar. This one is a lower horsepower, this one's a 2, but if you look on the back, they're very similar. But if you notice, this one's got a bump up on it. The 200 seal will not go over the bump up. So the 200 seal does work on this one, it will not work on this one. So the impellers are not interchangeable, the seals are not interchangeable. On this one, it is completely opposite. It uses this type of seal. This is the Chinese, the LX Chinese version. And this is more like a 1000 seal, where this part actually goes in the volute, which is the back, and this part actually goes on here. On the LX, on the Aqua Flo and the other one, you'll see that the spring part actually goes on the impeller. So if you have the spring part on the impeller, then it is one of these two. So then you would start looking for other telltale signs like the screws, and also this one has stamped very clearly in it, made in China. This one does not say that on it anywhere. And this one also has the word top stamped in it right here, the Aqua Flo, and this one does not. They look very, very similar, as I say. This one, if it has this look in it and the ceramic is on the impeller, then it is definitely an LX. The other thing that you'll do, and I'll put up on the screen, is on the LX, they do have the LX numbers on the motor, on the label. I'll put that up there. But on that label, they do have that. Now what we're going to talk about is I offer these seals like this in a kit with a seal tool for the LX pump. I also offer it with a bearing and the seal tool. I also offer it with the impellers and a seal tool. And this is a little bit different than the other ones from a standpoint of, I don't offer a seal tool on this one. You don't need it to put it together because this slides over. But we do offer it with silicone, which you need. You need to lightly silicone this when you push it in the volute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up these individually. I won't do it in this video. We're going to open these up individually, and I'll do a separate video on each one so you can kind of see what they look like on the inside. So if you feel like you know enough to make a informed purchase right here, go ahead and go to the website. If you'll click right here, it will take you to the website, and then you can start narrowing it down by each one. I'm also going to try to put LX pump, Aqua Flo pump, CMP pump. So go to the website, buy today. I'm the Spot Guy. We're Hot Tub Parts of America.